We're cold, Slither, you'll be joining us soon. We're cold, Slither, you'll be joining us soon. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to this, what day are we? Tuesday night edition of SHARKNEWZ Live. Welcome. How's it going, everyone? Another impromptu episode. Was not planning to stream at all, but I figured there's so much going on here because, as we all know, the biggest rock band came out of retirement and decided to do one last final tour to collectors. So how is it going, everybody? It is a nice, somewhat warmish, cold Tuesday here in the East Coast, and surprisingly I hear birds. Well, I did hear birds chirping early in the afternoon, so that means spring is coming. Love is in the air. And what better way than to have the road to San Diego Comic-Con start with the brand new 2025 exclusive box set, which, to be quite honest, I'm not too surprised, but I'm also surprised that it came, I guess, this soon. I don't know. I guess I was anticipating for it to come at some point. I just didn't know it was going to be like now. Especially when the line is thriving in such a way where Hasbro is kind of mixing and matching so many different things, where we have Nemesis, Immortal Enforcer, who's part of the Skybound Comics design, and then you have Hasbro doing a bunch of sub-teams, and then you also got, they're starting to do animated series, deep cuts, and then on top of that we have a lot of classified, updated, modern version of the figures, and then we also have I guess cartoon, no, not cartoon, sorry, and then we have the retro style figures. So a lot of different variants of versions of different figures coming, which only means that Hasbro, or should I say the G.I. Joe team, is capable of throwing a bunch of curveballs, which can only make the line last even longer, just because the amount of, I guess you can say, the amount of figures that they have up their sleeves that are not the original 13 or comic or cartoon, for that matter, characters. So with characters, or like say with pre-orders such as like the snake armor, which was revealed not too long ago, and then we have the scuba divers, which we'll talk about a little bit later, and then we have the mass device Snake Eyes, and then now we have Cold Slither, you'll be joining us soon. Welcome 49er Brian, Wilfredo Diaz, Greg Archer, Derek Holloman, Ionic Blood, all the legends here on the channel. Thank you guys so much for joining tonight. How are you all doing? Tonight's sponsor, for a very random ass occasion, we have Coke Can, the most unhealthiest thing in the world. So 49er with the shark emojis, awesome. Thank you so much for that. Love it. Thank you for being first as well. We have Wilfredo Diaz saying, as crazy as it might seem, I would try to pre-order it and add it to my collection. I just pray it's not too difficult to place an order of this Comic-Con exclusive figures. It's crazy to think that Once a Man Cobra Commander was almost a year ago. That's crazy. I remember exactly where I was when that figure came out, and now we're almost like full circle with this one. So when it comes to the San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, based on what we've seen before with Once a Man Cobra Commander and all the other ones like Serpentor, I think, and then whatever, we've seen the figures go up for pre-order at least three times that weekend, in terms of, like, I believe not Thursday is like the pre-show, and then Friday starts the pre-order, sometime like that, and then Saturday, and then they'll have whatever leftover quantity on Sunday. And based on memory from the previous SHARKNEWZ channel, I remember Once a Man Cobra Commander was going in and out of stock, which means you literally have to live, breathe, and eat and sleep on HasbroPulse.com in order to get your exclusives, just because I remember Once a Man Cobra Commander was available at like 3 in the morning. Some people found them at 7 in the morning. Some people found them like, I don't know, 11 at night. So it's really just, and you know, Hasbro's not going to tell you when the figures are going up. So, so the thing about that is Once a Man Cobra Commander had the limit of 5 figures, like limit 5 figures per customer. Because this is a box set full of 4 figures, I'm not too sure if they're still going to go with the 1 to 5 limit per customer, because that would be insane. Imagine like snatching 5 of these. Like, I mean, sure, if you like, I mean, for, you know, inbox collectors and then opening it, maybe at least 2 would be nice, 2 per customer, but having it 5 is just a little, you know, it just makes it a lot. So then we have 49er saying Colt Slither HasLab. Well, there you go. People thought, well, Colt Slither HasLab, how would that work? Like, you have the Colt Slither with the equipment and then the Thunder Machine with them as well. Maybe it's possible. Walker Collector 89, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Greg Archer says this one's out of left field. Looks like a Super 7 release. I think it's also because there's really not much of a super update or design to these figures, because even if you watch the music video or the you know, the animated series where Colt Slither was performing on TV, they didn't really have much of a costume. It was really just them wearing like tights and like wigs, right? So there's really not much you can do to it. And 49er says, I want an Iron Grenadier, Destro, and Armored Cobra Commander next. That would be great. Armored Cobra Commander has to look fantastic. Ionic says, I've been asking for this Colt Slither set for a long time. I always thought it would be Super 7 doing them first. Surprisingly, you know, with Super 7, I don't even know if Super 7 will last long, because they tried doing Deke series variant outfits and they didn't even get made into production because no one really pre-ordered them. And I'm so like out of touch with Super 7 that I don't even remember when the last wave even came out. Ionic Blood says now they have to do Snake Eyes in a dress. Yes. What is her name? What is her name? Hondalu, whatever, and then whatever her name was, and then we have Snake Eyes in the dress with Timber, and then Shipwreck with the whatever outfit that he wore when they were breakdancing out on the street. So that's very possible. With Colt Slither coming out, we can definitely have a Snake Eyes in the dress now. That seems very, very promising. I have no doubt that that's going to come out at some point. How many people will buy that Snake Eyes? Nobody knows, but for now, I think Colt Slither is literally the gate opening to many, many, many more, I guess you can say, deep cuts, because now we have figures like who? We have like Ramar, now we can have Mara, whatever Snake Eyes is love interest, or sorry, Shipwreck's love interest, and then we could possibly have Raven, we can have the Viper, or the Window Wiper, and then there's that bald guy who had that, whatever his name is, the Game Master, whatever. So many other random ass characters that I don't even know if Classified would even make. But it seems like there could be a demand for those. Who knows? Jack Stables says, and I'm a musician. That's awesome, man. I am jealous that you're a musician. And I love G.I. Joe, so this pretty much is cool to me, just as long as it's $90 or under. $90 might be pretty good for the price. However, you're also getting 4 figures. I think the Crimson 3-pack, right, with Baroness, Tomax, and Zermatt, that was, what, roughly $90? So now we're adding an additional figure because we're getting 4, and then we are adding instruments. So, because the Ostriker apparently is going to cost around $100, and that's one figure with a vehicle. So now these are figures with an actual, you know, drum set and guitars, so that's going to be insane. Because while we're at it, let's just take a look at the photo. I don't know why I forgot to even put that on. So here we have the Cold Slither box set. First of all, I like the logo. The logo is really cool. And my concern for not the figures, it's mostly the instruments, is the cymbals that they have on the drums. Hopefully it's some type of sturdier type of material enough for it that it could at least move up and down, and it's not like some weird looking, I don't know, plastic kind of thing. And then because I own some Back to the Future figures from NECA with Marty McFly, and he came with a few guitars, those are pretty good quality and detailed guitars. So I just hope that this kind of stays on par with that quality that NECA gave. And I fear that the guitar handles might warp or bend because of its rubbery material. So I hope that they kind of, you know, give that sturdier plastic for these figures. 49er says Old Snake. Yeah, Cobra Commander with the trench coat, with the fedora. That's very, very likely too. I would like that. Benedict says we might get a Spark Crackhead Falcon. Can you imagine if Hasbro Pulse announced Deke Series Falcon with Spark Drug and he has like a cracked out face? That shit would be so freaking funny. Then we have Ionic Blood says the Cobra female submarine captain, maybe. Yes, that could seem likely. Greg Archer says it'll be over $100, 4 figures plus instruments. I'm a musician too. Oh, damn, we got musicians in the house. Why don't we all start a band? What is this? Why are we all lollygagging? Let's start a band, man. Jack Stable and Greg Archer and Shark. 49er says over 100. Ionic Blood says 120. 49er says drumsticks are expensive. Yeah, imagine people actually lose the drumsticks. That would really suck. Ionic Blood says he plays a mean cowbell. Alright, dude, we need a cowbell person. Shoot. It's not even that. We need to play live in front of people, and then we need Ionic Blood to just stand there in the corner. And he doesn't even do anything for the entire 2-hour set list. And then right when the last song plays, before the lead singer says goodnight, he just stands there and goes with the cowbell and goes dung, and that's it. And then the whole audience goes insane. They already have a Crackhead Falcon. That's yeah. That is true. That is very close. That's, yeah. We should call it Crackhead Falcon from now on. Yeah, so we're going to go in more detail with these figures because we do have the other photos. However, I will say, what do you call it? The Keytar? Is that what it's called? The Keytar? That looks pretty sick. And then I'm not too familiar with the names of specific style of guitars. However, I guess I'm just going to be very generic and be electric and call it electric. And I assume one of these is a bass guitar, unless they're both electric. I don't know. I apologize. However, I do like the green and black one. That's pretty sick. And then we have, oh no, I mean, we'll go over all of them once we go over the actual figures itself. But someone pointed out in the comment section in one of my in the latest SharkNewZ video that they're all utilizing the same the same big boa lower half legs, which I guess makes sense. Jack says, I've been playing drums for 37 years. Man, that's so... I always wanted to play drums. Drums is so sick, man. I feel like I can play drums in my head because I always have... I feel like I have good timing. It's just I don't have that rhythm where the hand and feet coordination where you're hitting the pedal for the bass drum and then, you know, doing the hi-hats at the same time. I struggle with it. However, you give me like an MPC, I will tear that shit up. Greg Archer says, I play guitar and bass. Yo, we got a band. We're forming a band here tonight. Hell yeah. Title Manishir says, no knee pads. You got to be happy about that. Yes. Thank Lord, no knee pads. That is wonderful. It is a beautiful day in the classified world. No knee pads. And you would think, right, they would put knee pads if they're going to be sliding around the stage on their knees, right? No, I don't know. But yeah, okay, so... yeah, so logo looks cool. Instruments. Now, my question to you guys is, for those that are saying over $100, do you think $100 is actually worth it for this price? You know, I'm sure it's going to be a big box. God knows it's a big box. Packaging with some cool artwork, and so I know the artwork's going to have to be a big deal for the money. My only thing is 3 guitars and then a drum set, which I hope is big enough. However, I just want to know, like, is 100 worth it? Because, like, do the figures and their style of design and their costumes, does that look worth to you guys for 100, or do you feel like it's very cheap looking figures and it should be less, but you know it's not going to be less because they slapped the whole Comic-Con exclusive name on it? Because the fact that it's automatically San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, that's like you're already adding like $30 to the name. And of course you can't just have, I mean, you can, but that would defeat the purpose. It's better to have all 4. So I don't know who's going to be parting ways or splitting up Cold Slither because they're supposed to be a band, right? So Greg Archer says $140 is not worth it. $140 seems way too steep for this, especially if, you know, realistically, look at the figures. Realistically, it doesn't seem like they're offered much, because like it's like spandex or tights with a couple of vests and obviously some new head sculpts there. And if the reuse of big boa legs and obviously the same arms we've seen before, you know, it's a pretty cool set. Now, this is what I call like a very good example of a Comic-Con exclusive, which I talked about numerous times before on the channels, where I say a Comic-Con exclusive should be a set where, do you want the figures? Sure, but do you need them? And that's where you can say no, which is 100% acceptable, because when you have figures like Serpentor, who is an extreme pivotal character into G.I. Joe, and you toss an exclusive, especially a Comic-Con exclusive name on a Serpentor figure, for that matter, even Dr. Mindbender, it kind of slaps collectors in the face, because it's like you want to go and get it because it's a well-known name and it's a needed character in your collection. Whereas Cold Slither, it's like you could literally live without it. It's like no big deal if you don't have it. It's cool if you do, but it's real. Again, it's not going to make your classified collection look, you know, incomplete, or it's not going to make it look, you know, start making you twitch because you don't have it. It's just one of those things where it's like, okay, like, sure, it's 100% going to be costing you a lot more in the aftermarket, because we already know how classified is. We know exactly how the fan base is. No matter how many people say, and I'm not saying people in the chat, I just mean the general crowd. no matter how many people say they're not going to buy it, they eventually do because they want to either sell it in the aftermarket to make that extra money, which again, it's fine. It's your preference. It's just eventually it's going to sell out. Ionic Blood says it's worth it. Ooh. Derek Holloman, welcome. And it says, love Cold Slither, but I don't need this. Thank God I'm not a completionist. There you go. That's the spirit. Jack says $25 per figure plus instruments. Yikes. So yeah, so like I said in the beginning of the stream, we already know how the classified figures are going to be. The real issue is going to be the quality of the instruments. Because again, the last thing people want to see is having Zartan hold a guitar where the handle is warped. We've seen their guns and their GUI weapons. We know how they warp sometimes in packaging. So if it's like and if it's like too stiff and too sturdy, then the chances of those also breaking is a likely thing as well. So you gotta, it's like a lose-lose situation. But if Hasbro can really manage to up their quality, that would be great. Greg Archer says $25 per figure, $10 per instrument, $140. Rough estimate, could be cheaper. I don't know, just a guess. I mean, 140 is, that's, I don't know, that's mad steep. I would say at least 120. I think 120 seems a little bit, I mean, regardless, anything over 100 sucks. However, I think 120 could be probably more reasonable. Oh, see, there you go. We have Gucci Nene baby. He says my guess is 120. There you go. I'm on board with you. Ionic Blood says I'm a mark for the set. I mean, hey, if you like it, that's cool. There's no harm done. I'm just really happy that it's one of those exclusives where you don't, it's not like a die-hard need for most, if that makes sense. You know, like Cold Slither is really just a deep cut band from the cartoon, and I feel like half of the classified collectors may have not even seen the cartoon or even that episode, so they probably might not know what the reference to this is. However, for those that have seen it, then, you know, it's a good deep cut to have in your collection. However, it's just like, you know, people want to complete other figures or other waves or other characters before they kind of dive into, like, what is this, like the fifth Zartan figure, fourth or fifth Zartan figure. So I mean, I guess makes sense. Joe Bits, welcome, thank you so much for joining. Says they all have the same legs. I'm okay with waiting years or never to get this set just to end up reselling it. So here's the thing. So it's not like the HasLab Dragonfly where when you get all four figures of the HasLab, even for the Hiss tank, it's not like one of those situations where you buy it and you get the four figures and you can easily sell off the other ones, you know, because it's like people can do without the Mickey Mouse Cobra Commander if they wanted to make an extra buck, or they can sell off the Night Force Crazy Legs or Glenda, and you can still have like your vehicle or whatever. The Cold Slither is kind of a tricky scenario because I don't know how many people are out there that are going to be like, what a great set, I just want that torch. You know what I mean? I just want those Macho Man Randy Savage legs. No, sorry, Ripper's legs. That's what I meant, Ripper. You know what I mean? So it's like, if you want to get this set, it's like you have to get literally all four figures. Otherwise, unless you have like your own idea of figures you want to have sitting behind there. But again, this is literally a band. Like, you can't have just Zartan and then sell off the other three unless you want to, but it wouldn't make any sense to do so. Greg Archer says the drums and cymbals are straight, looks weird, they should be angled like real drums. Yeah, so I feel like there's more to this set that they're not showcasing, because I feel like, oh, see, there you go. So I feel like they probably should include a microphone stand and then a seat for the drum set, because I don't see that in the render. I don't even see the mic. Maybe this could be a far stretch, but what if they actually add like speakers? You know what I mean? Like speakers for both sides, like left and right. Because you know how sometimes they reveal digital renders and they sometimes say like not everything is included in the render. Sometimes when we see like actual product shots or the packaging or the box, sometimes they give you like a little more bang for your buck or a little more stuff to be added. So maybe there's a mic stand, maybe there's a chair for the drum set, which is behind the drums that we can't see. Maybe they're going to add speakers. Now, I'm no expert in music, but, you know, I feel like the guitars need to be plugged in. Sure, it's a small little nitpick, but a little hose piece, a little wire that can connect from the guitar. I mean, that's like really pushing it. However, it would just, you know, if they're going to charge like at least 120 to 140, at least add some crazy, not crazy, but like add some musical accessories to it, like, you know, pedals for the guitar or, you know, all the other stuff needed. Jack says Hasbro will overprice it and it will end up at Ross for way cheaper. Another Hasbro Ross exclusive. So for this one, I don't know if this one's going to be at Ross, just because they're usually really good for Comic-Con exclusives. Comic-Con's a little bit more tougher to get at Ross compared to other exclusives. You know, I've seen, I think last year or the year before, we've seen the Crimson 3-pack, I think, come to Ross. Like, vaguely, it's possible. Robert Novelli, welcome to the chat, says he's supposed to change colors. Oh, so is that true? Does anybody know if this is a color changing Zartan? I don't know if I read that in the actual IGN link. I think the reaction figure changes color. I don't know if this classified one does. However, that would be very interesting. Imagine you have a blue Zartan like on stage with them. $200 and above, but not $300. Ooh, Robert Novelli is saying $200. 200 is mad steep, because if you toss in an extra $35, you're already paying for a HasLab Rattler. So, and this is not even close to being HasLab quality or material. So, I think 200 may be super duper steep. Oh, we have Sabotage X88. Hold on, is this the same Sabotage X88 who's making all those other cool Joe videos? If so, welcome to the chat. Thank you so much for joining, brother. I appreciate it. I like your videos, bro. You're doing a good job on your channel. So thank you for joining in on the chat. If that's you, then that's awesome. If not, then my bad for mistaking you for someone else. But I'm pretty sure you're the Sabotage guy, right? Who makes those other G.I. Joe videos. Shout out to Sabotage. Wilfredo Diaz says, oh, first of all, shout out to Wilfredo Diaz. I hope you're doing better, brother. It's good to see you in the chat too. Super 7, not the classified one. Robert Novelli says, in the sunlight. Oh, hold on. Robert Novelli is dropping bombs. Does this Zartan actually change in the sunlight? Could we have, is that true? Because I don't know. I don't know. That would be interesting, because instead of throwing it in the freezer like the other exclusive, this one actually works in the sun. Okay. That's interesting. A color changing Zartan part of Cold Slither. Well, that's dope. Okay, so that is Sabotage. Awesome. Well, either way, I appreciate you for joining the chat, Sabotage. Dope. It's good to have a legend on here. Sunder Ganisen, what's up? With the shark emoji. Thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it, brother. It's good to have you. Somebody else joined in here. I forgot who it was. Oh, there we go. Robert Wantland. Welcome, Robert. Shout out to Robert for being such an amazing supporter as well for the channel. Awesome. It's good to see some very, very iconic and original names here in the chat. So it's like friends returning. So cool. There are some new names on here, which is amazing. It's also really nice and heartwarming to see like familiar names too. So Wilfredo says the Super 7, not the classified. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, because I remember I did see a picture of the Super 7 reaction figure that I did see that one turn blue. I just didn't think that the classified one would turn blue. That would be very interesting if it did. Okay, so let's take a look at each figure individually and see what we can kind of decipher from this, even though we kind of went a little bit hardcore on it. But this whole topic is Cold Slither, so why not have some fun? Because we are Cold Slither. You'll be joining us soon. Alright, so the first figure we're going to look at here is Zartan. Okay, so here's the thing. If you look at the previous render, I don't think they even showed us that strap that goes with the guitar. So my guess may... Okay, so yeah, so they didn't include the strap in the first render, so that means we could be getting more accessories for these figures, which how Greg was saying, well, Greg is saying wireless is for the pros. Okay. But so on Zartan's official render, we have the strap that is associated to the guitar, so maybe we could be getting more accessories for this one. Robert says, I don't know why they haven't done it yet. Done what? YouTube said it was going to happen at 10 Central. Yeah, man, like, honestly, I always put the timing for East Coast, and then for some reason, YouTube always changes the timing to like 3 hours later. And then on my end, it's put in on East Coast time. And then when I check it back later, the settings go back to like Pacific, and it's, I don't know, it's so weird. So my apologies. That part's not in my control, even though I changed it afterwards. But Sunder says, what's the scoop on the record being dropped? The record for Cold Slither? We are Cold Slither. You'll be joining us soon. You know what would be really cool? Do you think that Hasbro would actually put like vinyls, like small little vinyls, or like cassettes or discs or whatever, not like real versions of discs, but like how Sergeant Slaughter had like his miniature Sergeant Slaughter G.I. Joe figure? Do you think Hasbro would put like vinyl Cold Slither in the packaging? That would be a very interesting prop to have in the collection. Robert Novelli says, God bless you, Shark. Well, God bless you too. Thank you for that lovely wish. I'm going to toast to that one with a can of Coke. So disgusting. Disgusting yet good. Sunder says, yes, Hasbro supposedly is releasing a live record. Oh, do you mean like the live record as in like how they released the animated series soundtrack? Is that what you're referring to? Because I don't know how many other songs Cold Slither even did. I think they only did like one single. Because if you watch the animated series, they were recording their music video, and then like 30 seconds into the song, they start smashing the guitars into the sound speakers, and they're all like destroying the sound sets, and then the director, whatever the hell that guy's name was like getting pissed off. So I think they only made like one song, and that was about it. The ad in the record, I'm down. Change the color on the classified. Yes, with real singers. To be quite honest, I have no clue about that one. I was not aware of that portion. However, if anything does come up, of course, you know, I'll make updates somehow or some way. But going back to the actual renders and looking at Zartan now again. Who is this? Oh. My apologies. Okay. So Zartan has his yellow tights. He's got those boots that I'm sure we've seen before because I remember that style kind of. He's got nothing on his arms other than the black wristbands, and then he's got the open-chested leather vest, which is fine. And then his hair, or at least the wig, is good, and I'm pretty sure it's this. I think it's a new head sculpt because he looks like he's smiling a bit, or maybe it's the same one from the retro version. Now, I have a feeling possibly there could be some type of deco or some type of print on the back of his leather jacket or the leather vest, so that would make it a little bit more complete-ish. Of course, the strap for the vest and whatnot. So that's the thing. The figures itself, like, that's how much of a deep cut it is, right? Like, they're lacking a lot of, and not in a negative way. I just mean like they look how they're supposed to be, which is fine. It's just the price point to pay for a limited figure with barely anything that's what's kind of causing a little confusion, because you're paying, like, let's say if you're dissecting the prices, saying like you're paying $25 per figure, but imagine if this was actually a solo figure on the shelves. Like, would you actually pay $25 for like a yellow spandex Zartan with one guitar and like a, you know what I mean? So it's like, individually it may not make sense, but as an exclusive, 110% makes sense as why it's an exclusive. So I have no objection towards it. It's just I'm trying to see or justify the cost to make sure, like, is it worth, like, are the designs worth the price? Because it's not like they're loaded with like heavy designs or like equipment or like tattoos or all that shit, you know. So Benedict says, doesn't Cobra Commander beat the shit out of the music director too in the episode? Does he? I think he punches him in the face, or I think he slaps him, something like that. I know the guy that oh my god, you know what, in order to make the actual price point be better, they should have included it, made it a 5-figure box set, and they should have had the director, the guy who wore like that beige jumpsuit with that 80s porn star hair with the glasses, you know, like the director from that cartoon episode. If they added him as something, or maybe they could have added like additional cameras like on wheels, like how WWE figures have like those box sets where you have like, you can use fodder characters as like cameramen and stuff like that. So I'm just tossing ideas. It's going to be more expensive than this shit, but that would have been a very interesting box set, because God forbid they give us like a News Crew set and have like Hector Ramirez as an exclusive. That would be like one of the greatest exclusives of all time. That would be like an easy rare ass figure, because who wouldn't want Hector Ramirez? He's like the greatest news reporter in G.I. Joe of all time. If you don't know who Hector Ramirez is in G.I. Joe, I highly suggest you Google him, watch a couple of clips of him on YouTube, and see how much he pisses off Shipwreck. That guy's the man. Ionic Blood says, fill out those Dreadnought ranks. Oh, yeah, that could be true. Alright, let's see here. Greg Archer says the drums should at least add $20. The drums being $20. That really depends with my only concern is, like, I have no objection for the drums being $20, I suppose. It's just I'm very curious to see the actual quality for the drums. It's really the quality that's like bothering me, because I would hate for people to go travel all the way to San Diego if you're not even living anywhere in California, or not even in San Diego, and you buy this set for whatever the hell the price is, and you break the sticks or something breaks off the drum sets. You know what I mean? Like, it would just suck, because if you really want more bang for your buck, and this is just feeding Hasbro more crap, but if the seats were actually like leather material, like, you know, the cushion seats that drummers sit on, like it shouldn't be like a little like stool that we sit in like middle school, you know. You have to have like an actual cool looking chair too. Benedict says cameras and guitar amps and mic stands would have been a cool. Yeah, because think about it. Imagine like the whole entire digital render, and you have like mic stands, you have 2 speakers, and then you have the drum sets and maybe like 1 camera at most. That would make it worth the 120 to 140-ish price. However, I feel like, knowing Hasbro, they might do one of those skimping outs where it's like, no, whatever you see in the renders, this is it. It's just you're paying for the fancy box and the plastic on the window packaging, right? So that's possible. Let's see here. Ionic says, we F with Hector Ramirez. Justice for Hector Ramirez. We need that guy. Robert says, wasn't Hector also in the Transformers? Was he? I don't remember. I do know in the Transformers, Lady J... No. Who is it? Lady J and Flint's daughter was part of that space... that space group. I forgot, what was that, in the 3rd season, or was that in the movie? I don't remember. So that would be an interesting collaboration. Psycho, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining the chat. Says Hector Ramirez was a spoof of Geraldo Rivera. I mean, regardless of whoever he was inspired by, Hector Ramirez was a freaking awesome character. He was the definition of clickbaits and making G.I. Joe look like idiots. That's why it was just so funny seeing Shipwreck getting pissed off at him all the time. Benedict says, I think Torch and Zartan are the weakest figures in the set. Buzzer's head sculpt in metal. Yeah, we're going to get to those other figures in a bit. Gucci, Nene Baby. Love that name. Says, would be cool if they came with a pick hands and... Ooh, okay, look. Gucci Nene has a very good comment here. So far we don't see any alternate hands, but do you think that Hasbro would include... what is it? Where is it? Hands that include picks? Because if you own the NECA Marty McFly figure, he actually comes with an alternate hand where he's actually holding a pick, because you can't strum guitars using a freaking fisted hand or a gun hand, you know, like a trigger hand. Hasbro needs to really, really step their game up, because now this brings up a very, very, very solid, and thank you Gucci for that one, a very solid concern, because they should have guitar hands with picks. That would just, because it's mandatory. You can't hold the guitar and then you have those hands that Zartan is using right now. Sabotage says they should go all out on the packaging, make the box turn into a stage, or give us a backdrop, put a little record in there, some cables and mics. Yeah, so I have no doubt, because again, it's a Comic-Con exclusive. I have a feeling that the backdrop for the packaging might be like the audience or a stage or something like that. So that would, I think, yeah, so knowing Hasbro, I feel like they'll put like some type of insert for like a stage background with like curtains, maybe the audience, I don't know. But that might seem very logical to do. If they don't do that, then holy crap, like it just means that the fans are more in tune of what works budget-wise compared to Hasbro giving us nothing. Rocky Teller, welcome to the chat, says, would be fun gimmick if the guitars had portholes at the end to plug in the torch flame effects. Do they have... Oh, hold on. For those that are guitar experts, actually, do you see where the sorry, I'm not like a guitar expert, but do you see where the bottom edge of the guitar is right on the left side? You see that little thing sticking out. So does that mean is that for the strap for the guitar, or is that a wire that they're not including in the actual render that may be plugged into something? Is that like, am I seeing something wrong? I mean, like, not wrong, sorry. Am I seeing something that they're not including, or is that for the strap? Because, like, it looks like something you can... No, but if you... Where the hell do you plug in the wires for the guitar? In the front? I mean, no, but Greg Archer is going to say, no, you have to wireless. You need... Okay, see, I knew Greg Archer was going to come to the save. Greg Archer says it's a strap button. Got it. Okay. See, shout out to the guitar experts, man. This is why you guys own it. Thank you. Ionic Blood says, just found out Hector was in Gem as well. Dude, oh, I did not. So, okay, I never really saw Gem. I know of it. So Hector was in Gem too? Jeez. All right, hands down, Hector Ramirez, the greatest multiverse traveler of all time. Freaking amazing. Sabotage says it's for the strap. Gucci Nene, baby, says looks like they made it for the strap, but cord could be down there. Yeah, so it's possible that they're not showing more stuff. Maybe they can add a lot more to this. So maybe we'll probably have to wait and see for the actual fan stream where they'll probably unbox these dudes. Greg Archer says input jack would be on the bottom right edge. Okay, I see. Okay, makes sense. All right, so let's move on from Zartan now. Up next, let's take a look at... What's his name? Buzzer? Okay, so... As of this render, Buzzer is standing, so there's no way a drummer has to stand. However, in the actual animated series, Buzzer was actually standing while drumming, and then until he beats the shit out of his drums, and then they all break apart, and then he was like throwing them everywhere, which I thought was hilarious. So, it looks like the cymbals are colored more shinier. At least that's how the render is showing it, at least from my screen. So it looks like it has a little shine to it, which is good. I'm no drum expert or music expert. However, I've been to Guitar Center enough to know or see that the handles for the handles, or like the stems for the drums, are usually more like silver and shinier. I feel like this is Hasbro being Hasbro by having them be gray. Like, the stands are gray. I don't know if that's normal. I feel like a lot of times I see drummers, or when I'm watching like my favorite bands on YouTube, it's always like a shinier material. This looks like cheap Hasbro gray. So I think that's kind of, I might have to knock off a few points on that one. Somebody did make a good comment on, I think on the SHARKNEWZ episode, saying Buzzer's head sculpt looks like one of those Marvel Legends figures where he comes with that tank. He's like a half figure with a half tank, like he has a tank for legs. So I think I see that. And once again, the Cold Slither logo looks really cool. I love it. Robert Wantland says Buzzer is the shit. I agree. Ionic says, I think the drum set is attached. Oh, the drum seat is attached to the set. True, we're probably just not able to see it. There has to be a seat, otherwise that would suck if it's not. Rocky Teller says Buzzer looks good. Hope the glasses are molded on. Yeah, I think Hasbro may have learned their lesson with the removable glasses aspect, because that didn't really do well. So there's a good chance, at least a good 85% chance, that these figures all have molded on goggles or glasses. But then again, wait, are these glasses or goggles? I don't know. Maybe it'll go around. Greg Archer says it should be chrome. Ionic Blood says crash symbol can be tilted, sorry, nice. Psycho says, I hope we get a Ninja Force Zartan. This set shows they got the plastic colors they need. Yeah, Ninja Force Zartan seems very... I mean, think about it. We've already got Slice and Dice. We've got Arctic Storm Shadow. We got Snake Eyes. I feel like a Ninja Force Zartan is not too far away. And they already have a mold for Zartan, so why not? Ralph Vader guy, welcome to the chat. Says, looks like that Marvel Build-A-Figure guy. Step Brothers, don't touch my drum set. Jack says, my favorite color is chrome. Lol. Yeah, the glasses look bigger, so I'm not sure they learned. I mean, that would suck if the glasses... I mean, it's innovative that the glasses are removable. It's also harder to have... I don't know how to explain it. It's just they need to do... man, that's tough. Because the removable glasses on the first classified wasn't good. They could improve it if they put a little money in it. However, the ears, like the Buzzer and Ripper glasses, just were sucked. And then Torch has molded on glasses, so then that just makes it complicated. So I don't know if they learned their lesson from that. So maybe these are actually molded on glasses, but if not, that would suck. Or maybe not suck. I don't know. Robert Wantland says Leatherneck had separate glasses and they work well. Ooh, Skyfall says, nice Shark, I found you, subscribe. Thank you so much, Skyfall. I appreciate that. And thank you to all 30-ish people here in the chat. Thank you for all the support, and thank you for all those that are in the chat right now and those that are watching who are not in the chat. I appreciate you guys for at least staying engaged and having this conversation. Freaking awesome. You guys are great. Thank you, thank you, thank you once again. And cheers. Actually, hold on. Let's cheers to that. Cheers, cheers, cheers. Can of Coke. Psycho says, when I got the Night Force Zartan, I didn't realize it was a reference until I rewatched the show a few years ago. What was the reference? I don't remember. Alright, so now as we look closer to the Buzzer figure, he has like a pearl chain necklace, he has like that Viper handkerchief bandana, and then he's got like an open, it's not really denim, but we'll just say an open vest. He's got gray wristbands with looks like a tattoo on his left arm, left bicep, brown boots with blue jeans or blue pants or blue tights, whatever. So, and he has like a new head sculpt with like that freaking mohawk, which is fine. So yeah, I think this one may be the highlight of the wave, not sure. Because again, he's a bit of a departure from the classic Buzzer that we all know of. However, again, this is Cold Slither, so like it's a deep cut, so we can't expect it to look like the original Buzzer. It's kind of one of those things where it's like you have to know the episode or seeing the music video to know the references for this figure. So that is Buzzer. Up next, we have Ripper. This is Ripper, yes. So Ripper got a very interesting, I guess you can say, new style. He's got the Macho Man Randy Savage circus style pants. He's got a leather vest with, I guess that's a 4 straps going across. He's got 2 tattoos, one on his right shoulder, another on his left bicep and tricep, and then he's got the blue cloth strap hanging from the belt, which is same on the top of the boots And then looks like the same boots as Zartan. He's got the punk rock band with the spikes on the right arm. A brand new head sculpt with a new wig hair with more of an open, kind of like a bubblegum chewing mouth with teal glasses. So that's pretty cool. Let's see here. Greg Archer says Night Force Zartan. Psycho says Ninja Force Zartan has the color scheme of Cold Slither Zartan. I thought Ninja Force Zartan wasn't he lime green and pink, right? Didn't he have a green mohawk? He had, or was it a lime orange mohawk? I don't remember. It was one or the other. Robert says Ripper has Torch's vest upside down. Does he? Todd C, welcome to the chat, says I'm guessing it's 150. It's possible. But Todd C also says if they want extra cash or extra harsh, 175. I don't know, 175 to 200 is mad steep because that's already heading towards HasLab territory. Anything around the $200 range is automatically HasLab price. So if Hasbro knows their limits, it has to be at least anywhere from $100 to $120. That's my guess. Otherwise, it would suck if they go above like the 175-ish price range. Ionic says Ripper blue handkerchief on his calves, monkey wrench parts. Yeah, you're right. Okay. Oh, all right. Everybody remember this comment from Ionic Blood. If we see the same boots with the blue handkerchiefs around the legs for Monkey Wrench, then shout out to Ionic Blood for his vision of knowing how Hasbro works. Gucci says looks like his goggles are going to be like metalheads molded to the hair. So are you saying there could be an alternate head sculpt or just molded in general? Psycho says, I wonder when Hasbro is gonna what? Ralph Vader guy says 3-packs are usually 70, right? I think that the 3-packs are roughly like $90, I think, right? I think they're around the $90 price range. I know the Crimson 3-pack was $90. I think the Viper 3-pack was also around the $80 or $90 range. So I don't remember them being anywhere $70. I think they were only $70 if they were like on sale from Hasbro Pulse or something. Greg says, I'd kill for that hair now. Don't we all, man? It sucks. We're all losing hair. Those are some very luscious locks. Psycho says it might be lime green pants. I'm colorblind, so it looks the same to me. Black leather vest with purple or pink shin guards. Damn. Okay, so we gotta do a comparison in another future live stream. Gucci says 3-pack is $90. Correct. Okay. Skyfall says Bad Medicine is... Oh, he's singing a song to us. Shout out to Skyfall, who is singing us some tunes. Gucci says about 120. Yeah, so it seems like a lot of the general consensus is around the 100 to 120 range. However, Todd C with the counterattack says, no way this will be $100 if Chuckles was 42. But that's the thing though, Chuckles was a solo figure and he came with the briefcase and handcuffs and the flowers and all that other random crap. So then, and he was a solo figure, and on top of that he's a staple to G.I. Joe that looked close to the original O-ring figure. These are like, how do I explain it? These are like Power Ranger-esque designs in terms of they're just figures in tights and leather vests, you know? So it's not like they're equipped with a lot of detail or a lot of designs or sculpts. It's really just, you know, you slap in a vest and you give them big boa's legs, and then they all have the same arms, and then it's just like a new head sculpt. So there's really, you're not really getting much other than a new like color scheme palettes to these figures. So that's pretty much Robert saying 120. Greg Archer said, I had slash hair into my 40s, but at 47 it's gone. Ooh. Gucci says Chuckles didn't come with 3 other figures with instruments. Very true. Ralph says, I'm sure the box is going to be nice too. Yeah, the box artwork is always cool, because we've seen with Serpenter's artwork, we've seen with Dr. Mindbender's, we've seen with Chuckles, we've seen the Crimson 3-pack, we've seen, what's the other one? We've seen Nemesis Immortals, we've seen Cobra Commander, so all those artworks have always been really good. Psycho says, when is Hasbro going to make a Snake Eyes and his loud boy George like in disguise? I think next year they'll probably do Snake Eyes with his blonde hair and purple hat. Skyfall says 80s homage, loves the deep cuts. I say 150 just to get milked by Cox. Oh, Chris Cox, the man of the hour. Chuckles also didn't have a drum set. I'm pretty sure the packaging will have a stage in it too for display. Yep. Yeah, so there's probably going to be a lot more that they're not including in these renders. Spinal Tap mixed with Poison vibes. I'm definitely not opening this one, says Robert. Ooh. Yeah, I guess it makes sense to not open it. But then again, if you're like a sucker for like a display of having Cold Slither trash their soundstage like how they did in the show, then makes sense to why they would do it. But yeah, okay, so that was, what's his name? Ripper? So that is Ripper. And then the 4th member here, we have none other than Torch. Torch reminds me of one of those Marvel Legends figures, or like one of those Marvel characters that's part of the, what's that group with Emma Frost and the 3 other characters? The one with the, is it Sebastian and those 2 other dudes that are like, who are like those hierarchy people with like money. What are the name of those people? I forgot the name. So that's what he kind of reminds me of, whatever the hell those characters are. So even though this figure is as accurate to the cartoon, it's such a wild looking dude just because he's got the yellow torso. He's got the red arrow, which I'm pretty sure that Hasbro took from google.com, a PNG of a red arrow, because I'm pretty sure I've seen that shit so many times. I must have used it on my own thumbnails before. He's got spiked wrist cuffs. He's got black gloves, all black tights, big boa legs. He's got the same boots, just like, so I think they're all utilizing the same boots. This is just red deco on top with the gray, and then he's got the keytar with some flame effects, and then he's got some like gradient color schemes going on the top where the dot or the gauges are and stuff like that. So this is maybe probably the weakest figure. Todd C says, I'd pay $40 for a Boy George. Greg Archer says, mine was 2. Robert, my grandpa said I had kind hair. The kind of hair that grows on a horse's ass. Todd C says Hellfire. Ina says Hellfire. Gucci says Hellfire. Okay, thank you. Hellfire Club. Robert Wantland says, I'm glad I didn't suffer alone. Benedict says, looks like the background character for an 80s breakdance movie. I mean, an 80s breakdance movie or an 80s porn star. I mean, either option works. Greg Archer says, it was a gift, brother. You just gotta go through the awkward phase to that shoulders. People used to call me Sideshow Bob. Sideshow Bob was the guy from Simpsons, right? Sideshow Bob. Benedict says, he looks like a gang member from Michael Jackson's Beat It music video. Ooh. That would be sick. Imagine someone does like a stop motion. Stop motion from Michael Jackson's Beat It. But yeah, I read a comment on on my SharkNewZ video. Someone said they wanted to change the head sculpt of this one onto the other torch. I'm not sure if that's what they were. Todd C says, what's the arrow pointing at? I think the arrow is pointing at his guitar instrument. So when he's actually holding it, it's just pointing straight to the instrument. That's going to be on his like torso, waist, or crotch piece. Unless there's something that's more than meets the eye. Greg Archer says, Breaking 2 Electric Boogaloo was a favorite. I had the soundtrack on vinyl. So it feels like the Cold Slither box set is really making people reminisce the good old days. Robert says, was a shitty breakdancer but a dope movie. But yeah, this is definitely, I think they gave him a new hairstyle. I think he used more putty or gel on his hair, so it kind of has like a little wave towards the left side, but same mustache and sideburns and glasses or goggles or whatever. Gucci says, put Torch's head on Buzzer's body and you can get a Lemmy Killmister Motorhead figure. Yeah, I've seen a lot of comparisons of how, who is it? The Dreadnoks were all inspired by like certain musicians like Ringo Starr and all these other iconic musicians. Bike riding hair, says Ionic. All right, so now that we can kind of agree this is probably the weakest figure of the four. So now my question to all of you guys that are watching, this basically opens the gate for Deep Cut City, because excluding the Nemesis Immortal Enforcer figure, which was inspired by the Skybound comics. Now, haven't read any of the Skybound comics just because I'm not really interested in those. However, if they're taking inspiration from the Skybound comics, and then on top of that, they're also indicating deep cuts like these two scuba divers from the Mass Device episode, and then now we have Cold Slither. I feel like this is a very, very, very clever strategic marketing to make Classified last longer and to also make collectors impatient while anticipating for their favorite characters, because like I said before, this is an open gate for them to really just use up slots. Instead of releasing all the figures that everybody really, really wants, they're using slots in the years to give us stuff like this. And that's basically prolonging the Classified collecting for people, because it's kind of like when you play WWE games, right? It's like you have, for example, you have like 32 characters on the in the roster of the game, but then John Cena takes up 5 slots, Undertaker takes up 5, and then Triple H takes up 2, Kane takes up 3. So, and what you're really left with is like 15 characters. So I feel like that's kind of similar to how Classified is working, in terms of, instead of giving us like a character from the OG 13, or instead of giving us like a diehard character that everybody wants like so early, they fill up that slot with deep cuts like this, which basically says, all right, well, we have these now, but then the character that you really want, you'll just have to wait till like next year. And like Benedict says, a Bikini Baroness, I mean, there's a really good chance that maybe next year for Comic-Con we might get that episode where Lady J, was it Lady J, and then Baroness who wore a bikini, and then Flint in his Hawaiian or floral shirt, and then Cobra Commander, they're all in that Candyland or game episode. So it's like we can probably get a 4-pack of those, or maybe just like Bikini Baroness with Flint in his floral pattern shirt. I mean, now they can just do anything they want at this point. Sean R says, sorry I'm late. What's up, Shark? Thank you so much for joining, Sean R. I appreciate it. Right now we're talking about deep cuts. Chad Kinsler, how's it going? Thank you so much for joining. Gucci says, I wanted a full mass device, but I don't need that 2-pack at all. I mean, if you look at it from a marketing perspective, that's very clever on Hasbro's part to include a mass device element inside a 2-pack that a lot of people probably don't even want, aka this scuba diver people. It's the same thing as Marvel Legends, on how when the Infinity War and the Infinity Saga or whatever, when those Marvel Legends figures were coming out, when they did a Thanos Build-A-Figure, where did they put Thanos' head? They put him inside the figure that was Songbird. Who the hell cares about Songbird? She was a figure that no one liked, or no one really cared about, and the pivotal piece to build Thanos was in that stupid-ass figure. That was a genius way to get everyone to buy freaking Songbird figure. So because of this, Hasbro is really doing the same exact thing. They are saying, hey, you guys want to build a mass device? Sure, we'll give you Snake Eyes and the Polar Bear. Sure, we'll give you Retro Breaker. We know you guys want this. But you really want to complete it? Yo, we'll give you a 2-pack of figures you don't really need, but we're going to make you buy it anyway at full price because you want to complete that mass device. Because right now, you know, collectors might say, I don't want this 2-pack with the 2 scuba divers unless you're really, you know, into it in terms of the animated series, and because they fought the giant snake eels or whatever the hell those monsters were called. And then at some point, Hasbro is going to reveal or announce or do something with the actual mass device. And then collectors are going to say, shit, that mass device looks so freaking sick. So then what are they going to do? They're going to end up saying, now I have to buy this 2-pack. But where are they going to have to buy the 2-pack? They didn't buy it beforehand, but they want to complete the mass device. So now they're going to go on eBay and find out it's double the price. So it's such genius marketing, man. This is why I have such an admiration of understanding the business side of like marketing, because I love that kind of shit. Gucci says, it's a good marketing move. I just hate their moves. Yeah, we all do. Mr. Madga says, I need that Zartan head like a fat kid needs candy. What up, Shark, and all you piranhas in chat? Ooh, shout out to Mr. Madgas for calling the chat piranhas. That's a cool name. Piranhas. The shark and his piranhas. Oh, man. That gives me an idea for channel memberships. The piranhas? No, that's... I don't know. Ozzy Osbourne, welcome to the chat. It says great to have you back. Well, it's great to have you. I remember your name, Ozzy. It's good to see you again, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Sean R says, I like the idea of deep cuts for exclusives. Exclusives are hard to get most of the time, so doing this won't upset many fans because they won't be in that demand. I 100% agree with you, Sean. Sean nailed the coffin on that one. Greg Archer says, it's basically the same piece that came with the Mindbender lab set. Yes, very true. So for those that don't own the Dr. Mindbender exclusive, that little shield or the container thing that you see on top of the element of the mass device, it's the same exact plastic piece that came with Dr. Mindbender that uses that little brain or skull piece that that figure came with. So again, another reuse of technology on Hasbro's part, so it's good to see that they're still doing well. Robert says, I'm good with that. Benedict says, we need the Vietnam 3-pack with Snake Eyes, Tommy, and Stalker. Ooh. Rocky Teller says, that's how they get you to buy more than what you get. Yeah. I mean, they got collectors by the shark fins, that's for sure. Chad Kinsler says, indeed. Greg Archer says, that's why I'm passing on the whole mass device lineup. I mean, but realistically, how much can you really do with the mass device? I mean, they already revealed the 3 elements, the scuba diver 2-pack, Snake Eyes with the polar bear, and then retro breaker, or like, so to speak, the classic looking breaker. Now, with the elements already done, I don't know if they're going to reveal an actual, like, do you think they would break up the mass device in separate pieces and then have different figures be associated to that, and then you have to build the mass device? That's why, like in the cartoon, they were in search for the mass device, right? Or do you think they're just going to announce it like this one big little thing? So that's what makes it confusing, because it just, I feel like, I don't know how collectors would handle that scenario if they were to, because I think in one of the anniversary 50 or 25, I don't remember which one it was, when they were doing the mass device, they broke the pieces down into separate box sets in order for you to build it. I think it was like five box sets with different pieces with like 3 figures in there, and then that was your way to buy it. So man, this is getting fun. Except maybe Breaker, Landing Raft, for crowning out loud. Robert says, absolutely. Psycho says, Super 7 just put out O-Ring Fatal Fluffies in Remar. I hope we get a Fatal Fluffies in Class. I'm pretty sure we will. Skyfall says, Cox has you by the balls. That's very true. Ozzy Osbourne says, does anyone know how many Snake Eyes 00 were manufactured? I'm not too sure. How many Snake Eyes 00s were manufactured? Probably not as much, because that figure is discontinued now. That figure is long gone, especially being the first one too. Scuba set would be better if the 2 GIJOE side heads were Duke and Stalker like in the miniseries. Well, I don't know how people would feel about having like another version of Duke and like a Scuba. Well, I don't know. I think that's up for different. I don't know. Maybe people might not agree with that, or maybe they will. Because these 2 Scuba figures, they can be known for like, but that, oh, see, hold on. See, that's the thing, because when you have figures like Torpedo, you can use the 60th anniversary diver to have backup recruits. But these Scuba dudes are in freaking yellow and red. So the fact that the colors are so vibrant, ketchup and mustard style, that it makes it harder for you to put them with Torpedo. If they were colored like, if they were non-cartoon inspired, like from the episode of the Mass Device, and if they were like general Scuba dudes, then yeah, put them with Torpedo. But because it's a cartoon thing in its own deep cut, it just makes it like out of place. Like I personally would not put these two with torpedo. Then it's like you're just building like a freaking Power Ranger set with your scuba dudes. Might as well make a blue and green one and a pink and like whatever, and then have like freaking Mighty Morphin Scuba Rangers. Mr. Madgus says, I think deep cuts are as equal to a dream project, only without the big price tag. Yeah, no, I agree. I 100% agree. That makes perfect sense to me. Christopher Vo says, hello Shark. Hello Christopher, thank you so much for joining. Welcome to the chat. Says scuba diver suits do often include brighter colors to make them easier to spot. Okay, I mean, if that's the case, then I agree with you. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But the thing is, I think if you're telling me that they're making them for different colors in terms of like, if they have them like how Wetsuit is, where he is like more teal blue for like water purposes, I guess. I just don't recall seeing scuba guys wearing like yellow and red. But if he's saying for deep sea divers, then I will take your word for it, because you're probably know more than I do. So I'll take it. So that would make more sense. So I guess I will accept your answer. And knowing is half the battle. Robert says you can't army build Joes, only Cobra. So I actually agree with Robert on this one, because Cobras to me were personally more army builders. There's not really many Cobra characters to begin with, because there's only about maybe like 12 or 13 like realistically main Cobra characters, and then you have all the other Cobra army builders, like all the Vipers, and then all like the other troopers, and then you have the, I don't know, like these other Cobra dudes and whatever, and then you have the Dreadnoks, right? Whereas for the Joes, every Joe was like a standalone character, and then the only way for them to have army builders was you have the green suited, like the green army men. That's because even if you watch the cartoon, whenever like a certain mission came on, you would see the highly trained special mission force of certain characters come on screen, but then you see the green soldiers in the background. Those were the army builders. For Cobra, it's like you can't army build Destros or Baronesses, right? The whole point is, but you can army build Night Vipers, you can army build Shadow Vipers, Hydro Vipers, Alley Vipers, Toxo Vipers, you know, like all those characters are meant to be army builders. So that's why it's so much more fun when you have an army builder Cobras compared to the Joes, because that's why the Joes are more, they're chosen as a specific group of heroes, because they're supposed to be like, what do you call it, trained for these special missions, because that's why they were hired to do these types of missions, because they're good at what they do. So they don't need like an army per se. The rest of the army, the green shirted dudes, were just to fight the blue trooper Cobras, if that makes sense. John E, welcome to the chat, says, I think you misunderstood. If you pull up a screenshot on the miniseries, Duke and Stalker wore the yellow. Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then, well, thank you, Johnny. I appreciate that. Knowing is half the battle. They should have changed up the scuba gear example. Classic tanks made them females. Oh, you know, that actually would have been cool, like a female diver. That would have been sick. Gucci Nene says, okay, he's talking to Robert. Greg says, me too, Robert. With you, Robert. Facts. On the cartoon, they wore orange and black scuba suits. They were wearing orange in the cartoon. My memory's throwing me off. Wantland Robert says, I wanted a steel core for the jump jets, but I couldn't have generic Joes. When divers come out of the water, they take off the mask and show the entire head, so just swap heads for whatever diorama scene you want to create. Alright, Ralph Vader guy is good. Makes sense. Christopher Vo says, speak for yourself. Some of us bought 100 Baronesses with coil to army build. I mean, I figure there's one collector insane enough to do that. Hey, I mean, if you like doing it, that's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that. See, but that's the thing though. You army build the Baronesses because of the coil bikes. I just mean if it was a standalone figure. Sean R says, G.I. Joe by definition are only supposed to be best of the best. I agree. Robert says, Gucci is cool. Mr. Maggot says, a bunch of green shirts is not working. Heavy sarcasm. Comment above. I can't understand sarcasm anymore. I could see the divers peg warming hard at Target. Yeah, I mean, the 60th anniversary divers were pegging hard too. The problem with this 2-pack is that it comes with a mass device element. That's the only reason. Otherwise, this would easily be... And if you really think about it, not to put it into people's brains, but it's very easy to buy this 2-pack, take out the mass device element, and then return the 2-pack. I mean, I know that's a very bad collector advice, but I'm just saying, if you don't really want the 2 scuba dudes, you just... Because what Target employee is going to look at this 2-pack and be like, sir, the actual mass device is missing from this packaging and we cannot accept it. You would have to be like 1 in a million to find a Target employee that calls you out on that. I should just wait and steal the mass device part at Target. Nobody wants those frogmen. Deep 6 version 2, I hope, unless they do something cool with the clunky V1 suit. Oh, where did I put my Deep 6 figure? Oh, it's in the other room. Crap. Let's see here. I want that Deep 6. Wetsuit and Deep 6 are needed. Deep 6 with a shark figure. Oof. That would be sick. So what's the mass device after the 3 vials? So according to memory, the mass device is mostly just all square with some computer technology gadget crap, and then you have this giant ass antenna, and then you have 3 placeholders for the 3 elements, if I remember correctly. So it's not necessarily a big piece. It's more so because it's not a broadcast energy transmitter like the BET from the movie. It's more so just like a square with like some keyboards and shit, and then the giant ass like laser beam kind of thing. So that's pretty much it. Oh, Mr. Sampson has joined the chat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Future Ross buy for Christmas 2025. Shout out to Mr. Sampson, one of the greatest supporters on this channel. We have Gucci. Oh, Gucci. Oh, man, Gucci Nene Baby is such an addicting name. That's what it did. A lot of the Amazon figures need some accessories. Christopher says there's a Studio Series Springer at one of my local Walmarts that's missing a head, on sale for $3 less. Sabotage says piling up the water themed character is going to need a boat. Ooh, Sabotage with dropping a teaser. Robert Wantland says, I forgot Deep 6. Now I need 3 more eels to cover him. Oh, honestly, I forgot about the eels. Copperhead definitely needs his water moccasin and the hydrofoil, sure. Greg Archer says whale, fingers crossed. Rocky Teller says, I'd be shocked if they make Deep 6 into an interesting deep sea diver. I mean, I always love Deep 6. And also Deep 6 review coming soon on the Retro Shark channel. Deep 6 is Buzz Lightyear. I see that. I definitely want the Cobra one to lead my eels. Gucci says they should totally do a shark figure. Now, the only way I can see a shark figure is if they create that Cobra eel version, I believe it's version 2, where it has like the yellow and blue. You know what? I have it here. Give me a second. All right, so Deep Six with his shark is definitely one thing. However, there's also, this is my favorite version of eel. I think this is version 2 eel. So it's like the blue and yellow eel with the red visor and whatever. Love the design of it. It's sick. This was always my favorite eel as a kid. Loved playing with it. Preferred this one over the original eel for me. Now the thing that makes it cool is that this eel actually comes with a shark, if you could see that. So now imagine this robotic ass shark in classified scale. I would buy that in a heartbeat because freaking I am a shark and I love sharks. So the cool part is this figure, the shark actually pegs into, where the hell is this? Into the back of the figure. So now you have freaking the eel swimming in the water, and then you have the shark basically attached to it. Where are you going? Yeah, the shark's attached to it, so it's kind of like swimming there. So you cue the Jaws theme song, and that's how classified would probably work. It's a dope set. Okay, now I gotta catch up with the chat. Sean R says, see what you started, Shark, coming for you if my diver set is missing a mass device. My bad, Sean. Benedict needs a clunky Deep Six. Yes. Christopher Vo says, please like, share, and subscribe and join Cold Slither soon. Or you can also subscribe to this channel if you're watching. Or like the video, whatever you prefer. And Greg Archer says, Deep Six version 1 is the worst GIJOE era Real American Hero figure ever. Benedict says, yes, X-Men Cyclops Cobra Eel. Ionic Blood says, I think it'll just be like $100 like the Vamp. I'm going to need a bigger house if Hasbro starts doing boats. I can only justify Deep Six as Shark, but the Dreadnought Thunder Machine. Robert said, my eyes! What is that shark? Yes, exactly. That one is cool, but I'm more for the Hydro Viper. Hydro Viper, yes, I'm excited for. After my days, thankfully. Ionic Blood says, does that shark have a freaking laser beam? Yes. So this shark actually, so it's not a laser beam, but it's actually a missile. You can't really tell because it's not going to focus, but there's a missile inside his mouth that you peg into. So you press, I think the top of the shark fin? Oh no, sorry. One of the little fins that you have back here is like a lever, so you kind of push that down and then the missile in his mouth shoots out. So it's pretty sick. I love it. Robert Wantland says, I'm not familiar with the Hydro Viper. I got you, brother. I got you. See, this is why I love doing G.I. Joe streams, when I can pull out a freaking O-ring figure. So Robert, this is Hydro Viper. I don't know if you can actually tell. I mean, I see it from the camera because it's not focusing and it probably won't. This Hydro Viper, the O-ring figure does not necessarily do it justice just because it's like red and purple and pink and whatever with like the same bottom, like whatever eel toes and shit. But the highlight here for this Hydro Viper is really the mask, because if you look at the artwork for Hydro Viper, it is one of the most scariest looking pieces of art I've ever seen in G.I. Joe. This toy missed the mark and dropped the ball on it like crazy. However, I feel like the classified version will be freaking fantastic if they make it. Sure, I'm not really a fan of the purples and reds on this figure, but it is a really great figure nonetheless. It's one of my favorites, and I apologize it's not really focusing, but whatever, you get the point. Okay, let's see here. Mr. Madga says, I got my shark from the Fortnite at Ollie's. Ooh, I have that shark too. I have that shark, yeah. The Buzz Lightyear capture and project ships can be repainted into a shark. I guess they have been following Skybound to do an Energon shark. Hydro Viper is awesome, I agree. TFTF, welcome to the chat, says, I've been wanting Cold Slither figures, so hopefully they're not so limited they sell out. I don't think Cold Slither is going to sell out, but then again, when you stamp the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, it just becomes unnecessarily limited and expensive, so... let's see here. Zanzibar should come with a pet shark. Did you say you're gonna steal from Target? Says Joe Bits. Robert says it's a badass mask. I agree. Gucci says classified version would be Techno Viper. I still want, yeah, Techno Viper is a really cool one. Mr. Madga says, I left mine as is. The blue is definitely Cobra color, but Copperhead haven't been out since I got it. Psycho says, I've had the OG Hydro Viper, never had any type of eel, had Undertow. Ooh! Undertow. Alright, so while we're on that topic, did I just pick up the wrong figure? Oh, I picked up Fast Blast Viper. Shit. I think... So, there's another version of Undertow where he's in like the traditional Deke series colors where he's in a blue, when he's in green and red. I didn't really like that color scheme, but I like the blue color scheme more. Is this Undertow? I forgot. I think this is Undertow. Is this Undertow? I don't remember. Because I thought the other character was Undertow, but that's actually Fast Blast Viper. My bad. I'd say bunch of Lanjos are, wouldn't bother me having red and yellow divers as torpedoes, says TFTF. FOMO will come around and get them. I had eels as long as gone by the time Hydro Vipers. I remember getting San Diego Comic-Con Crimson 3-pack thinking it would be exclusive. Yeah, so that was the tough part, because when people spent $90 on the Crimson 3-pack to only find out like 4 months later that $90 dropped down to $60, and then I believe on Hasbro Pulse like a year later it went down to like freaking, I think $30 was like the lowest I've seen the Crimson 3-pack. So that's the thing, like it's either you wait for it to go on sale, which is not necessarily ideal because we don't know if they'll ever restock them. It's just one of those things with classified is you'll just never know which figure is going to yeah, you know, be either still around or be like discontinued. Yes, Undertow and Wetsuit are must. Undertow was green with the one eye. Zed Burns, welcome to the chat. It's good to see you, brother. How are we doing on time? Okay. We're doing decent. Psycho says Undertow is the one I think I lost most of his stuff, but Undertow I had was a dark green. Yeah. So the original Undertow was red with green and gray. That's the original color. The version that I have that I just showed on screen was the blue one, and I think that was part of a 2-pack that came in like the 2000s era. I don't know. I wasn't really a fan of the red and green one, but now that I think about it, I should go buy it if I ever see it. Zed Burns says, I love that face sculpt and buzzer. Yeah, Zed Burns, since you got here late, we kind of already went over all the Dreadnoks. However, if you be sure to catch the replay too, so you can share some thoughts on the buzzer figure. Greg Archer says, I thought the Crimson 3-pack would sell out fast. Hate I got it at regular price. And yeah, that's the unpredictability of classified, is you just don't know which figures are going to come back in stock and then be like a lot cheaper, because some figures just get the FOMO, other figures just plain up like sell out and then we never see them again, and then others are like they come back in stock and then they just get like freaking 50% off. Benedict says the 2001 repaints are so underrated and overhated. Yeah, I actually have all the 2000 2001 2-packs on the floor right here. I'm going to be reviewing them on the Retro Shark channel someday. So yeah, I will review those at some point. To be quite honest, just a quick little backstory for those 2-packs from 2000 2001. Since I'm in the East Coast, when I would when I would go hang out with family at Times Square, they used to have the Toys R Us in Times Square, and then in that Times Square, I remember this was like around like not too long after 9/11, but roughly around maybe like half a year after that. When you go inside Toys R Us, there was like a whole section, like not too big of a section, but there was a big section of like 2000, 2001 GI Joes, the 2-packs that were like literally all pegging, the shelves. And that was the time when I was actually collecting Joe. So if you guys actually are into those 2-packs from 2000, 2001, it's very unfortunate that the Serpentor and the blue, one of the Cobras, I forgot his name, that comes with Serpentor in that 2-pack. Serpentor was actually redecoed with gold and black instead of green, and that shit for some reason is like expensive as hell in the aftermarket. I forgot the name of that blue Cobra dude who's with Serpentor, but man, that's the only 2-pack that I don't have. Let's see here. We just got an Ollie's and I haven't seen a Joe yet, so unfortunately my Joes have been full price. I think Hasbro may have changed up the formula a little bit for Hasbro or like Joe's to find at Ollie's. That buzzer looks tank, dude. I'll just watch it back for a group before I saw you were streaming on tonight. It's all good, Zed Burns, but I still appreciate you for joining. Christopher Vose says, I made a mistake of buying Transformer Siege Omega Supreme on eBay about 10 days before Big Bad Toy Store announced their reissue. Oof. That's painful. Mr. Magus, check out the Savage Land and Customs. His boat was easy. Toys R Us still had good shelf space. Yeah, you'd be surprised. When I went to... When it was like, which birthday? One of my birthdays, we went to Toys R Us, and I remember the whole half end of like Toys R Us was filled with GI Joes, like the 2001 era ones. And I remember they released the 2001 GI Joe headquarters, which I will make a video on at some point in the future. I have it all, and that was one of the best memories, because it was like, we're talking about like my birthday night, weekday. My brother and my dad took me to Toys R Us, and this was like 7 p.m., 8 p.m. Toys R Us was roughly empty. There was like nobody there. And I remember I saw the Toys R Us exclusive headquarters, or the 2001 version. I looked at it and I was like, oh my god, this is the craziest thing. My dad says, you want this for your birthday? I said, yeah. And then he was like, let's go, let's get it. We're getting it. And the funny part is that shit only costed like $50, but that was also 2001, so if that was money value, I'm sure that was like $100 today. But it's memories like those that reminds me of, like, you know, why G.I. Joe is like very special to me, because it's like, though I just appreciate those who was with me when I bought it, and like just a family bonding moments, you know. Is Buzzer's mohawk blonde or orange? It is blonde. Greg Archer says Toys R Us exclusives were awesome. Yeah, I remember. I mean, I talked about this on the Retro Shark channel, buying the 6-pack Python Patrol. So I'll save that for another day. I remember seeing the 6-pack Tiger Force, where I saw Jinx in her green uniform. So I was like, "Ooh, Tiger Force!" But I was not really too invested in Tiger Force, and I'm still not either. A. Romo says, what's the name of the band? Cold Slither. Alright, so let's move this out of the way. We'll go back to the original image. Christopher says, what do you think of the rumors that they'll announce a non-HasLab Thunder Machine? I definitely believe that a Thunder Machine is coming. However, I just don't think it's big enough to be a HasLab. Because, as I mentioned, like, many times on like different channels before of mine, in order for it to be a HasLab, it has to be a very big vehicle, and it has to justify the price. I feel like a Thunder Machine is too small, and it has to be like, unless they add like 5 figures to that thing, then that's a different story. But a Thunder Machine is not that bigger than a Vamp or a Stinger, you know what I mean? So it could be like, it's longer, but it's not big as a Hiss tank width wise, and it's not like, I think it could easily be a Pulse exclusive for sure, just definitely not HasLab related. Carl Del Rio says, late but made it. What's up, Shark? Welcome, Carl Del Rio, to the chat. How's it going? Thank you so much for joining. I assume it'll be made to order like Dragon Man. Yes, I agree with that. Okay, because Ninja Zartan had bright orange mohawk. Yeah, so this one's a blonde hair. It's the same Buzzer colored hair, just mohawk and blonde. But then again, they could reuse this blonde. No, but Zartan's mohawk was more thicker, kind of like, I don't know, wider, I guess. Not necessarily as sharp as Buzzer's. Ionic Blood says, I used to go to the Times Square Toys R Us, then head over to the Virgin Mega Store to buy music CDs and memories. Good times, brother, good times. Speaking of CDs and memories, just a quick little side story. I was out with the family earlier today, and I went to a store called Game Exchange. I don't know if that's familiar to any of you guys. I went to a Game Exchange, and usually I'm a very big DVD and VHS collector. Like, above my head, I have a bunch of shelves full of movies, DVDs, and VHSs because I love collecting that shit. I went to that store to buy some more DVDs. Not Blu-rays, like actual DVDs. And then they actually got rid of all of them. I was like, what the hell is this? And then I was like, excuse me, where's your DVDs that used to have like freaking 100 shelves? And then the kid behind the counter was like, oh, we never really had DVDs here. And I was like, listen, you 15-year-old little bastard. I was like, I'm old enough to know what a damn VHS and DVDs are. Don't bullshit me. You guys used to sell them here. And he was like, not that I know of. And I was like, you asswipe. I wanted to deck his face. Anywho, So the point of the moral of that story is they are getting rid of physical media. So I was pretty butthurt. Benedict says, these streams are always great, especially after a long day. Thanks for providing the content, bro. No, thank you. You know what? I'm going to pin that one. Thank you, Benedict, for being an amazing supporter. So I will pin your amazing response. It's really you guys who are in the chats and those that are watching, those who are actually commenting on the chat. You guys make the streams fun. It's really you guys that I'm just literally just the host of the live streams, but it's really you guys. You guys are the bread and butter of the whole stream. Because without your conversations, without your questions, without your chats and engagements, I'd just be sitting here staring at the wall, counting how many teeth I have left before they all fall out. Yeah, I guess backing isn't the worst case. It's up to you to get it or not. Arctic Cobra was set awesome. Firefly Killer sets old man moment. Yeah, that was my old man moment. It's kind of like that episode of Friends where Chandler was always pissed off that Mr. Heckler, or whatever his name was always bothering them with the broomstick, and he kept like banging it up on the roof. And then Chandler was like, what the hell is wrong with you? And then as soon as Mr. Heckles, as soon as Mr. Heckles died, Chandler goes downstairs and then he finds like Monica and Rachel like making all noises and stomping. So then he takes the same broom and then he's just like, would you guys stop making so much noise? And then he's like, whoa. that was my Chandler moment when I yelled at the kid. That was just like, oh man. Gasoline for 88 cents a gallon, indeed. They aren't getting rid of physical media, just physical audio, video. Books are safe. Okay, yeah, I mean, okay, books I can get. It's just the old stuff that people don't really care for, like, because people don't really want regular DVDs, because I prefer it, but people want the super Blu-rays and 4Ks and 8K quality, which is understandable because that's how all the new TVs are focused on or whatever. But whenever I see like a normal DVD, like we're talking about like a standard DVD of a movie, like 40-year-old version, it's like, ugh. That's why I just love going like DVD hunting at Goodwill. It's the greatest place ever. I just noticed the shark buzzer boots can be swapped out with Spirit's boots for sure. Oh, because it has like the little tassels on the bottom. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. That would be cool. That's a good idea. So everybody, Mr. Madga says, substitute Buzzer's boots for Spirit's. You can have tassels on the bottom if you prefer it. But then again, Spirit's boots are pretty freaking sick. Thunder Machine not being a HasLab stresses me out that it sells out in less than a minute while my phone PC is still struggling to refresh. I hope they do made pre. I think the Thunder Machine might be the same as like the Stinger and Vamp, like, but you have to remember there's more other options than Hasbro Pulse. I understand a lot of people want Hasbro Pulse because they're paying for those memberships, but you know, there's a lot more. There's Big Bad Toy Store, sometimes Entertainment Earth has them too. So it's always good to have options. I know, because a lot of people, they get upset saying, oh, it's sold out on Hasbro Pulse, but then they don't buy it from Big Bad Toy Store. I'm like, it's roughly the same price. Sean R says, with you, Shark, got a mini Blockbuster in my man cave closet. You know what? Just as a... Hold on. Here's a quick little side segue. I mean, I'm still going to talk about G.I. Joe. Just give me 1 second. I bought these videos because, like, I'm a huge VHS collector. Again, I'm going to do a whole video on my VHS collection on my Retro Shark channel. But seeing videos like this, Office Space, on VHS. Look at this. Does anybody remember this shit? First of all, great movie. And This is what I really miss about Blockbuster and Suncoast Video and all that other shit, Sam Goody. You pick up the VHS, you look at the back, and you're like, do I want to spend my Friday night watching this shit? And then like you only have the back to decide like what the movie's about. So that was like one of my purchases. The other one I got was I got Spider-Man on VHS. Just because, like, why not? It's freaking Spider-Man. I love Tobey Maguire as my Spider-Man. So, love it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. What else do I have here? I got Beetlejuice on VHS. So yeah, Beetlejuice, great movie. It's kind of taped from the bottom, but yep, got Beetlejuice. And last but not least, I have The Flash. I don't know if anyone even has remembered this movie, have seen it, whatever, but yeah, VHS, Flash, there you go. Look at the back. Look at that costume, better than any DCU bullshit that I've seen today. That's what I call Flash. Oh yeah. So yeah, this basically makes it probably like over 150 VHS tapes that I have. So I will do a collection on it at some point. Renting Nintendo games for the weekend. Oh my god, yes. Although I was more of a Sega Genesis guy, I have a bunch of Sega Genesis games. Dear Lord. Dope VHS covers or did you see more times than I can count? Yeah, because you got to pay $3 if you don't rewind it. Throwbacks indeed. I still have the beta tapes at my mom's house. Flash tape. The Flash was a TV show. Yeah, I remember The Flash was a TV show. I saw it. I thought this was a movie. Oh, see, it says the critically acclaimed feature-length movie pilot. So it's the pilot of the show, just showcased as a movie. So I guess that makes sense. Anywho, so last but not least, so yeah, if you look at the Retro Shark channel, I'm gonna have a cool throwback to VHSs at some point, and you're very welcome, Robert. I only kept a few dozens. I want to have a huge VHS discussion on the Retro Shark channel at some point, so I hope you guys can all make it on that channel, because that would be really fun to do. But the G.I. Joe Classified fan stream. So if you guys are not subscribed to the Retro Shark channel, please go ahead and do so. I definitely want to do a video or a live stream on VHS tapes, so we can have that whole VHS conversation over there. That would be really great. That would be really fun too. We can talk about Be Kinding and Rewinding. We can look at my collection. We can talk about the movies and all that shit. So that would be really fun. Zed Burns says renting a VCR for the weekend and watching Critters Friday the 13th. Good movies, good movies. Mr. Sampson says, I still remember visiting a video rental store when VCRs had just come out. The movie selection sucked. I think we rented a movie called Super Fuzz, a cop with superpowers, until we saw the color red. That's what made it so beautiful for those, because I know all you guys know what freaking Blockbuster is. That was the beauty of, like, think about it. It's I'm gonna go super visual here. I don't know if you guys will relate to it. I mean, you probably will, but I don't know if you're gonna have the same feeling as I did. But imagine it's like the summer of, like, very late 80s, early 90s or whatever, right? It's summertime and we're getting close to sunset. My father would be like, hey, it's the weekend, let's go to Blockbuster. And drives my brother and I to Blockbuster. we go inside the yellow and blue store. You can smell all those, the smell of VHS and plastic, and then you can smell like the popcorn in the bags and all that stuff. And then we would go there, and then like I remember, where's another movie I can, whatever, it's all too far up there. So, and then I remember being a kid and then like picking up the VHS tape like this, and then being like, oh man, this is so cool. Like, you know, I would look at Mortal Kombat or I don't know, some other Street Fighter movie, whatever, and then rent it over and over again. But all we had was really just the back. And then I remember from the window, it would be like sunset. And then, you know, we would go to the counter, get the movie and whatever, and then just the thought or the feeling of walking out of a Blockbuster on a perfect summer, early 90s or mid 90s day, and it's like it's sunset and it's like life was just so peaceful, and you have like a new movie, you're about to go back to your house, put it in the VCR, watch it that night with all your action figures in front of you, and it's like that was the freaking golden era of movies. And those are memories that I will always cherish, like 100%. Gucci says, I'm going to miss these new classified news as I'll be in Houston for a metal festival. I don't think there's going to be much news yet. Or you're going to be there for... Sorry. We're going to be there during the fan stream. TF says, I tossed like 800 VHS tapes when I moved 6 years ago. Most have been upgraded to DVD. So what I ended up doing was I would buy the VHS tape and then I buy the DVD of the same movie to accompany it. That way I have the nostalgia and then I have the movie with it. Christopher says, isn't Blockbuster the company that said, no, we don't want to buy Netflix for $5 million? Yes. So with that story was, I think Netflix was, what was it? Yeah, but I think Blockbuster made fun of Netflix because they're like, oh, like, oh, this isn't a profitable thing or whatever. you guys aren't gonna go far or something. And the next thing you know, Blockbuster went out of business. Oh, leaving by the 16th. Damn. Well, hopefully you'll be able to catch up on the news afterwards, Gucci. TF says, please put spelling of the Retro Shark channel description. I'm having trouble finding it. Give me a second. I will help you. Where the hell is it? There you go. TF, I just posted the link for you. Christopher says, my first job was at a chain movie rental store. I was hired, told I could rent stuff for free immediately, but would start work Friday, then told next Wednesday, then next Thursday. Oh. Gotta hit the new release wall first, but nothing beat the feeling of asking for a movie. And so she says they got it back. Ooh. March, no position is available. I remember to rent anything that had to be drawn picture on the box. They were always low budget ones. Yeah, the movies where they just had like a white blank sleeve and then you would just, the employee would write the movie's name on it. You know, it's like a freaking pirated illegal copy of it. The tape boxes had such great art, like old record sleeves. Hold on, I really want to grab another. Shoot. all my VHS tape. Oh man, no, I don't want to spoil it. I'll do it on the Retro Shark channel. But yeah, that was the beauty of it, because nowadays it's like, you know, we have all those trailers, we have all the teasers, and we have all that stuff. But like the beauty of going to like a VHS store, like even Blockbuster, or even a mom and pop store, or like whatever rentals that you had, your whole weekend was based on reading the description of the movie on the back. Now, a good example again would be like, let's say you had no clue what the hell Beetlejuice was. You go there to the store, you see this cover, you see freaking whatever his name is on the cover, you see all this crazy shit going on, and you're just like, do I want to rent this movie? Like, I don't know anything about Beetlejuice. And it's like you turn it in the back and you're wasting like 20 minutes of your life trying to read this giant ass essay of what the movie's about. And then your parents are yelling at you saying, just pick a damn movie and hurry up. And then you're just like, Mom, wait, I need to like, so, and then you go home and then you pop this sucker in and you've watched the movie and it ends up sucking. And then you're just like, great, I just wasted like a whole weekend with this bullshit. And then you have to keep it till like the next 4 days. Plenty of TNA for a 12-year-old. Had to read back of the VHS box and decide if you wanted to rent it. I 100% agree, Mr. Sampson. Night of the Comments, Starman, Last Starfighter, VHS Days, not to mention American Ninja. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Blockbuster tried their own mail-in service. Yeah, I remember Blockbusters tried to literally copy Netflix and then they failed miserably. The sick-ass box art was what used to get me until I watched the movie and was like, shit, was exactly. See, you guys get it. You guys get it. You understand the love and phenomenon for it. I remember those old employee pics. That one, the dude always picking the Reanimator and Phantasm movies. For the Chuck Norris fans, how about Invasion USA? Great movie, great movie. Working at Hollywood Video Rental was my favorite summer job. All the free B movie rentals. He said B movies. Horror's always had the best. Yeah, horror movies definitely had some great covers, man. Like all the Freddy movies, all the, what the hell are they called? All the Friday the 13th ones, good covers. Dating myself, but I rented BB's Kids in Fern Gully under the time crunch. I don't know if I know what that is. Mr. Madgas says, me and my boy used to copy movies until they got smart and started blocking the movies. Mr. Madgas is pirating movies. He started early. Puppet Master was great. Saw it on YouTube the other day. Was surprised. I was a big Trauma film fan. Senseless violence, nudity. Shit. Nightmare on Elm Street. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Samson. Mr. Santa. You'd be surprised how many movies Chuck Norris was in. Every time I go, like, see a movie of Chuck Norris, this dude's, like, in a million different action movies. I'm like, dear Lord. Trauma was awesome. Chuck the Man, Invasion America, remember Return of the Horror High, Night of the Creeps. A lot of those, yeah, even Delta Force, yes, freaking great movies, man. Oh, it's too bad that YouTube doesn't allow you to watch movies with your subscribers. We could have all had a movie night at some point in the distant future, but you know, copyrights and stuff. It's just so unfortunate. Holy shit, Ionic Blood with the 5 Deadly Venoms. What a freaking throwback. Dude, 5 Deadly Venoms was such a great movie. Holy crap. I love 5 Deadly Venoms. I'm surprised someone actually someone actually knows it. That is freaking awesome. Love that movie. if it was a shitty horror movie from the end of the 70s to the 80s I was watching. April Fool's Day, says Greg Archer. What? Yeah, man, it would have been great. Unfortunately, with YouTube, definitely can't. Wait, isn't Sleepaway Camp the movie where the girl is actually... I don't want to spoil it. It has that very creepy ending where she's just like staring at the screen and she's like naked or something. And like the two camp counselors are like... they were... I think that was Sleepaway Camp. I always loved the 80s cheesy ass ninja movies. What were the... Well, he's saying 80s ninja ass movies. Don't like the 90s also had some crazy ass ones too. We had Beverly Hills. No, what was that? The one with Chris Farley, the ninja something shit. I forget what that one's called. We had Three Ninjas. We had Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We had Street Fighter. We had Mortal Kombat. If you guys haven't seen Sleepaway Camp, definitely watch it. That movie was trippy. Shark needs to book a skating rink, set up a projector for these old movies, and have a night. I mean, if you guys are all willing to make a trip, let's all gather somewhere. We'll have the crazy ass movie night. Beverly Hills Ninja, yes. Beverly Hills Ninja was actually such a great movie because, one, it had Robin Shou, who is Liu Kang from Mortal Kombat, and then on top of that, to see him go from freaking Mortal Kombat to that movie where he just gets his ass kicked by all the mishaps from Chris Farley, like that shit was just so damn funny. Actually, I'm probably gonna watch that movie tonight. I actually never saw Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's another great movie recommended by Mr. Sampson. Killer Clowns is like one of those movies where there's really not much of a story, but that's what made old movies so great, is because when you look at... You can watch any movie nowadays where you can notice the CGI, you can notice the background, the terrible green screen, you can notice the floating heads on the costumes, and it just looks total ass. Like, all these movies like suck, all their graphics are like sucking. And then you watch like Killer Clowns from Outer Space as one example, and you haven't seen like then you see like these animatronic clowns that are actually created in uniforms, and that's what made those movies freaking so beautiful. Like, as soon as they pop the nose on one of the clowns and then all those confetti shit falls out, and it's just like, wow, that is so good for those old days. And then you watch all these movies now and you see like freaking shitty CGI and all these green screens and these floating heads, and it's just like it's bullshit. Like I'm paying money to see this when all these old movies were so great. Oh my god. The Thing. I don't know who hasn't seen The Thing on here. So I want to talk about The Thing real quickly. John Carpenter's The Thing. The reason why I actually love The Thing so much is, one, the beginning of the movie is very reminiscent to the G.I. Joe comic series Frontline, the 4-issue version where 5 G.I. Joes are selected to go to a secret base in Antarctica, and then they have to find like some type of alien species or whatever the hell that was. But welcome Alan Balcom to the chat. Thank you so much for joining. The reason that made The Thing so freaking great is not just the fact that the recruits started to turn on each other because they wanted to see which one was the actual alien, because they were all like, the alien was disguising itself as the actual humans or whatever. But it's really the fact that the Thing had such a great baseline in the movie where it's just like doon 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 doon, right? That's what made it suspenseful. And then on top of that, the ending of the movie, which I won't spoil, but when you have the two characters sitting there and you're just trying to like think about what the hell just happened throughout the entire movie. Now you just have these two dudes that are just like, I'm not going to sleep, you're going to sleep. And it's like, I'm not going to go to sleep until you go to sleep. And then the movie is just like, puts you in a spiral, because you're just like, holy shit, like, which one of these dudes is going to, like, you know. So, that fantastic movie. Yes, Kurt Russell, indeed. Well, I think we will wrap it up here because we are hitting the 2 hour and 20-minute mark, and I don't want to take up too much of your time. However, this was honestly, the GI Joe conversation was fun, but this VHS and nostalgic movie stuff was probably the highlight of the stream for me. Thank you guys so much for making that so much fun. That was amazing. Oh, Big Trouble in Little China. Freaking hell. We need to have one stream dedicated to just talking about movies. Can we do that? Are you guys interested in doing that? Let's do that. Retro Shark channel. Let's talk about VHS. Let's talk about movies. I think that would be a great time to do it. I love Big Trouble in Little China. Freaking great ass movie. Yeah, no, honestly, the whole movie conversation was probably the highlight for me. This was, I mean, that was fun. You guys are throwing in all these classics, and it's just so fun to geek out about all these movies. Prophecy. Yeah, Zed Burns says I'm down. Yeah, no, this is I'm trust me, I haven't smiled like this on a live stream in a very long time, talking about really cool nostalgic movies. This is, oh man, oh yes, the first appearance of Raiden, Golden Child. It's on Amazon Prime. You guys should watch the movie Guyver. It's on Tubi. Guyver is such a funny ass movie. It's pretty good though. I liked it. Yeah, no, to be quite honest, I see a lot more engagement on the movie conversation than I did on the classified segments. I mean, the classified one was doing well too. It's just as soon as we got to the VHS and the nostalgia, everyone was just like popping in different and it's even more exciting and fun when everybody actually knows which movies they're talking about, and that's what makes it more exciting. Because if it was just me talking about freaking, I don't know, Mortal Kombat and no one knew what it was, that would not be as fun. But all these movies that everyone's suggesting, like, that's freaking fun as hell. Beautiful, beautiful. Wait, was the actor of Guyver the movie of Solid Snake? Was he? I don't know. I thought that actor sucked in a funny way. Prime has lost all the old movies. Guyver on Prime too. Cronenberg films are wild. I gotta... Oh. Robot Jocks. Guyver Dark Hero is underrated. Yeah. No, I agree. You know when you know it's funny when someone says Robot Jocks and then you have another person comment saying Robot Jocks. That means you guys know your shit. That's good. That is wonderful. Freaking fantastic. I love it. Okay, so Solid Snake was in Guyver too. Alright, got it. See, I sorry, I only saw the first Guyver for now. I don't think they have the two or other Guyver ones. All right. Well, in that case, I think we will end the stream here just because I feel like we can talk in a few more hours about all these movies. I wish I had known that you guys were actually interested in all this because I had no clue you guys were into movies like the way I am. That's okay. That's freaking great. All right. So what we're going to do here is that on the Retro Shark channel, I'm going to go live someday and talk, and we'll have a whole movie discussion. So if you guys can subscribe to the I was about to say Artist Shark. If you guys can subscribe to the Retro Shark channel, which I just put the link there, if you want to subscribe to that channel, we can talk about movies and then we'll have a better discussion there. I feel like the people that came here just for the G.I. Joe Classified News are probably like, what the hell is going on in this chat? No one's talking about Baroness in a bikini. No, I'm very optimistic that I think the movie live stream is going to be freaking fun. Yes, They Live. They Live is a great movie too. Man, you guys are tossing out so many good ones. All right, so with that being said, man, now I'm upset. I didn't know you guys were such movie buffs. This is ridiculous. You guys should have told me this beforehand. We could have saved so much time. I'm kidding. All right, anywho, I appreciate you guys all joining in on the movie stuff because it's like I always said, like I have other interests too other than G.I. Joe. So there's a whole other world out there to me that's SHARKNEWZ and G.I. Joe. Like there's all the stuff we just talked about. So I think that would be a great topic for that channel. TFTF, yes, the one where in the G.I. Joe animated series where Flint, Lady J, Baroness, and Cobra Commander were trapped in that Game Master episode and Baroness was wearing a bikini. Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Oh, Mr. Greenfield. Dear Lord. So many fantastic titles. Alright, you guys should hold off on all these names. I think we should definitely have a better discussion then. Because now we're heading into Debbie Does Dallas. Oh man, you guys are freaking awesome. Alright, so with that case, I think we'll end off here. I think it's a beautiful time to end it just because I want to keep the momentum on a high with the excitement that I have for these movies and stuff like that. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys all for watching, all for supporting the channel. Thank you for making this live stream so damn fun. I love this trip down memory lane. That was great. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate for supporting SHARKNEWZ. I appreciate for supporting Retro Shark, wherever the hell these channels may go. But thank you for enjoying or making these live streams fun. I didn't know it was gonna get this fun, but that was you guys. You guys made the stream fun. It wasn't me. It was all you guys. You guys made the stream very fun. So thank you guys. If it wasn't for you, I would not be doing this. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are the man. So with that said, have a great night. We'll do another stream on SHARKNEWZ later about whatever else reveals come on. But for now, thank you for supporting. Have a great night and great week ahead of you. And I'll see you all in the next stream for whatever happens. Take care, peace, and hug your loved ones. Take care and peace.